Добрий день всім.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Olga Atamanova. Welcome to Ukraine Media Center Ukraine Forum. This is the 80th day of our war for freedom and independence. And during all this time, our warriors in Mariupol have been heroically defending the city. And right now, in our studio, you see the relatives of our heroes. This is not our first event. We are aware of the efforts made by the government, by the authorities, by our partners, by international organizations, but unless and until we get a result, we should not stop. We should continue telling the world about what's going on in Mariupol, about the humanitarian catastrophe which takes place there, because it's about ours. We only have hours left, and it's about the life of our citizens. And so the families of our heroes and all Ukrainians will be making every effort. And now I'd like to give the floor to Natalia Zaritska. She is the wife of our hero. You're welcome, Natalka. I'm Natalka Zaritska. My husband is now in Azovstal steel factory in the city of Mariupol. I would like to thank everybody who joined the process of raising awareness, sharing information about what's happening in this city. I got messages from my husband saying that Russia can launch 500 bombs and 40 missiles in 2 hours and to use infantry to kill our warriors. But Russia does not do that. It obviously tries to extend this painful torture. They are shelled with all possible types of weapons. They are shelled from the sea, from the ground, and from the air. The enemy is shelling them using also prohibited weapons. Often, the most terrible crime takes place when there is silent consent. So leaders of this world, don't keep silence. Stop this destruction, because otherwise the whole world may turn into Azovstal. We are not afraid of dying. We are afraid of living in the world where values are destroyed. Those strong leaders cannot stay aside when there is evil. Doing good is our governance and bringing things into order, and small good is just silent compassion. Now, after all those negotiations, there is one person worldwide whom it would be difficult for Vladimir Putin to refuse. We hope that strong and good China can make difficult decisions for good, for values, because it stands for those values. So we ask the esteemed president of China, Xi Jinping, to express big love and big care about the global values and big Eastern wisdom. And we ask him to join the process of rescuing the defenders of Mariupol. China knows about the history of suffering. China knows the price of independence. China knows what is the fight between two worldviews. When the enemy does not know anything about diplomacy, about culture, when harmony is ruined. So against those humanist achievements, it looks even more terrible now when people are destroyed, where people are killed in Mariupol. Ukraine has, like China, has the same fate, the same way. We hope that China will not stay aside, that China will not keep silence. Ukraine shares the ideals of great initiative of that Silky Way of China, in my view. So we ask the esteemed Xi Jinping to do everything possible to save global values, to save the defendants of Mariupol. Thank you. Thank you, Natalka. Stavrosniak, the father of the warrior who is in Mariupol garrison. You're welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody who has come here. Thank you, everybody who joined the rescuing of our defenders and those who share the truth about Mariupol on the global scale. I'm Stavro Vishniak. My son is with Azov, and he is in Azovstal steel factory at the moment, like many other in Azov, in Marines, in National Guard, in Border Guard Service, and Territorial Defense, and many other people. I would say as much as say they're in hell now after permanent bombing by aviation, by missile strikes from ships, under tank shelling and other weapons. All the time there's infantry assaults without proper medical care, without medicines, with limited inventory of water and food. But they hold the line bravely. They hold the line of defense. We, the parents, wives, relatives, and near ones, keep asking the global community to conduct that extraction procedure. We ask to take our defenders, wounded people, and dead bodies into a third country, into a neutral country where they will stay until the end of war in Ukraine, so they will not participate in this war, in this military action. 1 week ago, a petition was developed, Save Mariupol, and by today it has got about 1.5 million signatures. So there has been huge demand among global community worldwide, but implementation is needed. There have been many briefings, many press conferences, and I think we apply it to everybody. Maybe the only person on the globe to whom we still can apply is the leader of Chinese People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping. We ask Chairman Xi Jinping to take necessary measures to implement the extraction procedure and to act as intermediary, to act as a third party and as a guarantor of safety and security. China has had long-term diplomatic, economic, political, and military relations. It has big influence on Russia and on Vladimir Putin personally. So we ask China to interfere and to become a peacemaker in this war, to rescue our defenders from Mariupol, from Azovstal. Our warriors, our heroes, have no time anymore. It's about days and hours and seconds. With every minute, there are fewer chances for them to survive. Our warriors have already been to hell. Let them come to the earth and to see the sun. They deserve it. Thank you. Thank you. Hanna Ivlieva, husband of a warrior. Good afternoon, dear audience. I'm in the military, I'm with the Marine, and in Azovstal steel factory there is my husband who is with the Marine, my commanders and my comrades in arms. They have been the first people who went into combat action in this war, and now they're in Azovstal jointly with other units. We are proud of all those defenders of Azovstal because they have showed that they are stronger than steel which was manufactured in that factory. They recorded in the history how the warriors should look. They haven't betrayed their oath of allegiance. They resist till the very end, and we don't want for them to pay with their blood at that end. We want to be heroes and to be alive so that other generations would look at them and just use their experience, learn from their experience. Today, I'd like to thank all world media, all world leaders, global leaders who help us in resolving this issue of extraction and in sharing information. But today, we appeal to Xi Jinping. He is economic partner of Putin, and Putin can enter into dialogue with him. So we do ask Chairman Xi to run this productive dialogue and to use that extraction procedure to take our warriors into a third country, which may be Turkey. President Erdogan is not against this extraction. So we'd like to draw your attention to it, and we'd like to ask you, I think that the world shares our views. Azovstal has been a hot spot of the global scale, and I think everybody will help us. Thank you, thank you. Yulia Tarasenko, husband of our warrior. Good afternoon. I'm a wife of an officer, border guard officer from Donetsk border guard unit, which is in Azovstal steel factory in the city of Mariupol at the moment. My husband wrote to me saying that if there is hell on earth, I have seen it. That's what he said. Servicemen of Mariupol city garrison proved to the whole world that they are stronger than steel. We do appreciate, and the whole world appreciate, we thank all global leaders who joined that humanitarian mission of saving, rescuing our people from Azovstal, including Macron and Erdogan in particular. But there is still the most influential person, the leader of the People's Republic of China, to whom Putin listens and whose views Russia takes into account. Russia and China as countries have had very close military and economic relationships. And this is a person whom Putin cannot resist. So we ask Chairman Xi Jinping to join as an intermediary those negotiations for humanitarian mission, for extraction, for rescuing of our servicemen from Azovstal steel factory to the Republic of Turkey. Thank you. Dear colleagues, you can now ask your questions. You're welcome to raise your hand and please speak into the microphone. Any questions?
Sky News. China says that there are no limits to its friendship with Russia. Why do you think Xi Jinping will help you?
Прошу, Далка. Як я вже зазначала,
As I already mentioned, there are world values, global values, which are shared by China as a country which has Eastern wisdom. Ukraine shares those values. And there is a country which has become an obstacle on the way to harmony and wants to destroy, to ruin all those developments of civilization about ensuring peace, about harmonious development. So we count on Xi Jinping as a guarantor, as a guard of those global values. Thank you. Any more questions?
The Ukrainian government says that your fighters in Azovstal will fight to the bitter end. Are you now saying you want them to be extracted and that fight should be over if possible? If Turkey or another country can secure their extraction from the steelworks, would you like that to happen, if they can all be taken out?
Добрый день еще раз.
Good afternoon again. Yes, they wanted. They, people of Azov regiment, and not only those people, but everybody there, see the only way out of this situation, which is this procedure of extraction, and I think extraction to Turkey. Because, you see, it's close geographically and physically, Turkey can do it. But we just need a guarantor, we need an intermediary, and I think China can help here a lot to become such an intermediary. Thank you. Any more questions?
Want to be extracted. The fighters now want to leave.
Yes, they want. I'm a wife of a border guard serviceman who is there in the Azovstal steel factory, and jointly with others, he has been defending our country as well as democracy on the global scale in the whole Europe against this aggression. Indeed, our fighters already said more than once to ask the whole world for help with extraction. We all understand that, yes, if there is a consent for such procedure, then our fighters will not take part in defense of Ukraine anymore. Yes, we thank President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey. He is ready and willing to accept our fighters, our guys, our girls, our defenders in his country. But I'd like to emphasize again that we now appeal to Xi Jinping, who could join this process to become a negotiator in this process. And to what will he receive in that process? First of all, we will get something. We will get our relatives who will be saved, who will be rescued from that hell. What will Putin get? I think that Putin will get, say, he will maintain some rest of his reputation. What will China get? China will get into the world history as a country who saved people, who rescued democracy, who will help save the peace of this world. Thank you. I'd like to add something, if I may. For a global understanding, it's not war anymore there. It's just murder there. Hundreds of wounded people without their legs and arms, and without any painkillers, and with new bombing, their new wounds for those already wounded fighters. They have been exhausted. They are beyond the limits of life. We want them to be saved. To surrender is not an option for them. We have seen cases where fighters were taken as prisoners of war and then killed. For them, prison means death. The only rescue, the only way to save those exhausted fighters is that procedure of extraction. We also understand that they're live heroes already, and their feat is with us, but if they're killed, it will be in millenniums.
From Polish television Polsat. I'd like to confirm one information, because the advisor of Mariupol's mayor claims that the Russians are publishing your phone numbers, profiles on social media. Is it true?
Сьогодні
Today, one of my friends who is in a hotspot in Kharkiv wondered whether I'm alive, because indeed there has been this information. I can tell you that I am active on social media, and sometimes it happens that Russian bots emphasize something. They try to exercise pressure on us, but we respond with the spirit of our fighters. We are strong. We are strong. Thank you. You'd like to add something? Yeah, you're welcome. I would like to add about Azovstal, about the previous question. For you to understand, in Azovstal, there are no healthy fighters. There are heavily wounded people and mid-range wounded, but guys are still fighting. Some people have already been wounded 3 times, but they're still going to combat. The only people who don't go into combat are those who don't have their limbs anymore, or those who cannot stand up, who cannot be standing. So we ask Xi Jinping to help us. Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions? You're welcome. I'm Diane Paladas, New York Times. I have 2 questions. First question is this: in your view, is the Ukrainian government doing enough for your relatives in Azovstal? And my second question is, which top leaders of national and international level have been involved in negotiations, and what are your impressions from the results of those? Our government has been doing everything possible and impossible to get our people released from Azovstal. But you have to understand that Putin is a terrorist. For him, civilized countries are not any source of authority. So there is pressure on Putin only from his economic partner, namely Xi Jinping. All the other leaders to whom we applied, they had negotiations with him, but we have to understand that those leaders are helping Ukraine, and Putin doesn't like it. Thank you. More questions? Today, the government and I'm sure everybody in Ukraine supports us and supports the rescue of defenders of Mariupol. I am also ask the media to support us, dear journalists. It also depends on you today whether this information will get across to esteemed Xi Jinping. Please make maximum efforts to that end. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Say that extraction is the same as surrender.
Ні.
No, it's not the same as surrender. Again, to surrender means to go into prison, and it means to be killed. Extraction is a different procedure, different from surrender. Extraction means that people, those fighters, will be taken into the territory, extracted into territory of a different country under guarantee that they will not participate in combat action anymore until the very end of this war. And basically, I can tell you that in any case, there have been so much wounded, so much injured, that they just cannot resist it anymore when they are shelled from all types of weapons. And we ask the world to get involved in this process, to become guarantors, so that in the process of evacuation from Azovstal, our fighters will not be killed. That's precisely our appeal to countries worldwide. I'm the wife of a Marine, and when there was still some communication, I asked my husband, maybe you may want to surrender. He said, if we surrender, it's the same as we just go out and we are killed, shot to death. There's no guarantee that if they surrender, they will remain alive. The only option is the third party. Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions? 1 second, if I may. Surrendering is humiliation for our people. They will not surrender. Extraction is not the same as surrendering. It's an alternative. It's an alternative for them to remain alive, because if they become prisoners of war, there is no guarantee that they will survive. But extraction, for us, looks like rescuing of our fighters, our defenders. Will there be any official appeal to the leader of Chinese state, and who will originate such appeal? Some organization or some state authority, or who? Thank you. As far as I know, our leaders of our country, our political leaders, our politicians, have already sent an official letter to Xi Jinping. And we hope that very soon he will receive that letter, and we hope that he will join this process of negotiations, and that he will help us in this difficult procedure. Indeed, here in this briefing, we also, with your help, dear journalists, global journalists, we also appeal to Xi Jinping, we apply to Xi Jinping, and we hope that you will get our message across, you will get our wishes, our appeals to Xi Jinping. Also, we will be sending letters personally from families, from family members of our military, and we do hope, really hope, that we will be heard. Thank you. Any more questions? Thank you. Thank you, dear colleagues, dear journalists, for being here with us today, for helping the world, the whole world, to hear about that humanitarian catastrophe which is happening now. Thank you, and goodbye.
Якщо у вас будуть побажання записатись кимось коментарі,